Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into the eerie and mysterious side of ancient mythology, the dark legends, curses, and prophecies that kept ancient people up at night. These weren't just tales meant to entertain. Many believed in the power of these curses and the consequences that awaited those who defied them. From Egypt's pharaohs to Greek heroes, Norse gods, and Aztec sacrifices, curses and dark myths were everywhere, adding a layer of fear and caution to everyday life. So let's jump into some of the most haunting curses from ancient Egypt, Greece, Norse mythology, and the Aztec world. Brace yourself for a journey into the supernatural. Our first stop is in ancient Egypt with one of the most well-known curses in history, the Curse of the Pharaohs. According to ancient belief, anyone who dared to disturb the tomb of a pharaoh would suffer a string of misfortunes, illness, and ultimately, death. This curse became famous worldwide when King Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered in 1922 by archaeologist Howard Carter. Shortly after the tomb was opened, several members of Carter's team died under strange circumstances. The first was Lord Carnarvon, who funded the expedition. He passed away due to a mysterious infection not long after entering the tomb. In the following years, others who were involved in the tomb's discovery experienced accidents and untimely deaths, fueling rumors that the curse was real. Some historians and scientists argue that toxic molds and bacteria in the tombs could have contributed to these illnesses. But to the ancient Egyptians, the curse of the pharaohs was powerful and very real. They believed these curses were protective spells cast to guard the dead in their journey to the afterlife. The belief in curses reflects the Egyptians' deep respect for death and the afterlife. They filled tombs with treasures, food, and magical spells to protect the deceased, ensuring their journey would be safe and comfortable. For the Egyptians, the idea of disturbing the dead was unthinkable, and the curse wasn't just a warning, it was a supernatural shield, a form of justice that went beyond the grave. Next, we turn to ancient Greece, where curses and tragic destinies were woven into family histories. One of the most chilling examples is the curse on the House of Atreus, a Greek family line plagued by betrayal, murder, and a cycle of revenge that haunted them for generations. According to legend, the curse began when Atreus, a descendant of Zeus, betrayed his brother by serving him a horrific meal, his own children. This horrifying act angered the gods, and they cursed Atreus and his descendants. The curse led to endless tragedy. Agamemnon, a member of the cursed family, was murdered by his wife after returning victorious from the Trojan War, and then their son Orestes was driven to madness after avenging his father by killing his own mother. For the Greeks, this story was a warning about the dangers of angering the gods and violating moral codes. Curses like this represented the idea that justice from the gods could be harsh and inescapable, and the Greeks believed these dark forces could haunt families, keeping them trapped in cycles of suffering. Moving on to Norse mythology, we encounter a terrifying prophecy rather than a curse, but it's equally dark: the legend of Ragnarok. Unlike the curses of Egypt or Greece, Ragnarok was a prophecy of the world's end, an event that was destined to happen and that even the gods couldn't escape. According to Norse legend, one day, the trickster god Loki would break free from his chains and lead an army of giants and monsters to attack Asgard, the realm of the gods. The final battle would see Odin, Thor, and many other gods fall in combat, while the world would be engulfed in flames and later submerged in water. But Ragnarok wasn't the end. It was a cycle of destruction and rebirth. The world would rise again and life would start anew. For the Norse, this prophecy wasn't just a story, but a reminder of life's impermanence and the inevitability of fate. Unlike other ancient civilizations that saw curses as punishments, the Norse saw Ragnarok as an unstoppable event that showed the courage to face the unknown, even in the face of certain doom. Finally, let's look at the Aztec belief in the Curse of Huitzilopochtli, their god of the sun and war. Huitzilopochtli was responsible for guiding the sun across the sky each day, but he needed strength to do so, strength that came from human sacrifices. The Aztecs believed that if they failed to make offerings to Huitzilopochtli, he would lose his power, the sun would stop rising, and the world would plunge into darkness. To avoid this disaster, the Aztecs held grand ceremonies and sacrifices to honor Huitzilopochtli, believing that these offerings were essential to keep the universe in balance. The curse of Huitzilopochtli wasn't a punishment directed at individuals, but rather a collective responsibility to prevent catastrophe. For the Aztecs, it was a necessary ritual that linked them directly to the gods, creating a powerful sense of duty that governed their society. So, what is it about these dark legends and curses that continue to fascinate us today? In many ways, these stories reflect humanity's most profound fears and struggles. They give insight into how ancient people viewed the world around them and the mysterious forces they couldn't control. Whether it's the fear of disturbing the dead, a tragic family curse, a prophesied apocalypse, or the wrath of a god, these myths touch on universal themes like fate, justice, guilt, and survival. They remind us of the power of storytelling to capture our imagination and reveal deep truths about ourselves. Even now, the myths of curses and dark prophecies continue to resonate, inspiring books, movies, and folklore. Thanks for joining me on this eerie journey through ancient curses and legends. If you enjoyed exploring these dark stories as much as I did, please give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more journeys into history's most mysterious tales. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.